Over the years, we have already learned how incredibly strong Goku has been since the Battle of Gods era, but his most recent transformations eclipse all of his previous powers. Goku in his first confrontation with Beerus was a threat to the entire macrocosm of Universe 7, which includes the living world, the afterlife, and the Kaioshin realm, all of which are universal or almost universal sized realms that can only be reached with special techniques like the Kai Kai or Whis' staff. Later on in Super, we see Zamasu spread his influence throughout the alternate timeline that Trunks traveled from, and is even felt in the present by Beerus and Whis. A suppressed Jiren is then later stated to surpass all of the Z Fighter's previous enemies in power after he seemingly glares away the Universe 7 Super Spirit Bomb amped by Kaioken times 20 Blue Goku that was so powerful that it scared all of the gods' destruction, even caused the Grand Priest to worry about Zeno's safety in the original deleted scene on TV. Jiren shoves the Spirit Bomb back into Goku's face, and Goku is overwhelmed trying to compress its power and shove it back. Goku eventually loses momentum and falls into the Spirit Bomb, which proceeds to try killing him and ripping him apart. In his desperation and his denial of this, Goku's body forces his own limits and abilities wide open like a floodgate, way beyond Kaioken could ever dream of. This awakens what we would then know, or call as a fandom, Ultra Instinct Omen, and with this Omen, he shakes the entire world of Void with just his presence alone. The world of Void is described as a massive, infinite, empty void. These voids are quite common in Japanese stories and even take a spotlight in shonen like Bleach, which has its own Mugen with similar lore. How you would shake such a structure is up for debate, but there are a few methods to go about it. You could say that he simply is shaking the structure slash box of the void itself, since the void does have a confirmed infinite space, if even void of time, although it is called eternal, which later on we learn that Jiren's power does transcend time. You could also argue that the shaking of the void is actually Goku's energy itself seemingly shaking or vibrating as it stretches beyond an infinite range, or that the structure or scalar quantities of the fabric of the world of Void itself is being shaken. This infinite powered Omen then fights foes that gave powerhouses like Hit and even Vegeta trouble, whom Goku then casually swatted away as they were told to leave it to Jiren, as Goku seemingly blitzes all of them and employs a unique fighting style we've never seen before. Omen 2 then scales far above these already casual feats due to the fact that Goku gets much stronger as the tournament goes on, such as when Super Saiyan Blue Goku tanks a kick from Kefla that surpassed the Spirit Bomb used by Kaioken times 20 amped Goku, as stated by Whis early on. Kefla then goes on to use Super Saiyan 2 on top of this Spirit Bomb power, which should be at least 2 times as powerful, if not as much as a 20 times amp using guides, and these guide statements then go on to talk about Super Saiyan 2, aka Super Saiyan Grade 5, surpassing Grade 3 in power. And of course, Grade 3 in El Legendario manga is stated to be 10 times that of Grade 2 Trunks, who was weaker than Grade 2 Vegeta, so you could imply that Super Saiyan 2 is over 10 times stronger than Super Saiyan 1 or Grade 3, or you could also argue that it's just 2 times Super Saiyan 1. It doesn't really matter here because we are lowballing and highballing. We're just trying to educate a general area. We're just trying to give an insight to the general levels that you could scale Goku to, not like an exact level. I kind of want you guys to input your own area of thought into this discussion. After you talk about which guide you want to go with, what interpretation you want to go with, you should then include the Kaioken times 2 that Goku was in when he took the kick, which basically leads us to the conclusion that Omen 2 is between 80 through 400 times stronger than when he was in Super Saiyan Blue at the start of the Tournament of Power, because of course the Spirit Bomb itself is Goku Kaioken times 20, and then the Spirit Bomb itself, which is considered much more powerful than Kaioken times 20 by Goku and all the gods' destruction themselves. A still suppressed Jiren is then said to have power and ki heavier than any seen during the tournament up until that point. Jiren also confirms to us himself that Goku has become stronger since they last clashed, confirming that Goku has surpassed Omen even with just his normal powers, his non-limit breaking powers. Unless you consider Kaioken a limit breaking power, which it might be, however it's not considered a super limit breaking power, which is unironically what they say about Omen. Blue Vegeta then fights a slightly less suppressed Jiren, who is stated by Goku to be stronger than anything else he's faced before and the highest energy they've ever felt, and he felt that his final flash could take Jiren Jiren down. Goku states this as well, but he states it after getting beat up in base, not to Vegeta's final flash, but to the fact that Jiren is above anything that he felt before. Goku could be referring to the punch that scraped him when he was in blue that scared him out of it, rather than the beatdown he got in base, but it is hard to say. It's not that important. Meaning that this Jiren, later on, less suppressed, is greater than the enraged Kefla, who could kill Omen 2 Goku in a single shot. Vegeta then gets evolution and Goku gets Kaioken times 20, which means they're over 20 times enraged Kefla as they push Jiren even further and are able to damage him when he's even stronger than when that was stated. Vermod also comments on how he hasn't seen Jiren use this much power in a very long time, proving he is in fact having to use much more power to fight Goku and Vegeta later on. Base Blue Goku, Evolution of Vegeta, and Android 17 then proceed to blast Jiren with all of their might. However, Jiren simply powers up to a higher level and his sheer aura knocks all three of their attacks and they themselves out. Android 17 is then forced to seemingly sacrifice himself and self-destruct to protect Goku and Vegeta from Jiren's attack. Vegeta then gets up to take on the much more powerful Jiren, however he can't even go Super Saiyan. With thoughts of Bulma, Trunks, Kabe, and all the promises he's made seemingly to be broken away, he puts all his trust and faith into Goku to finish what he set out to do. Goku with this amp is able to get up and go Super Saiyan Blue, and it's even considered its own level or a similar, like higher level by Krillin, who is then quick to say Goku even with Vegeta's energy is still nothing to Jiren, or like he's surprised that Goku even with this energy could still be defeated, as Goku gets obliterated by Jiren with no difficulty, obviously. Well, I mean, what else would you expect? Of course, Jiren is not pleased and knows Goku has more in him to bring out, as Krillin and many others hinted at early in the tournament. A martial artist tries to bring out his opponent's true strength after all, and what is strength if not tested to its fullest? Just as Jiren is about to give up on bringing out Goku's strength, or maybe it was a threat, hoping to bring it out even further, Goku remembers all the trust and promises given to him by his team and his friends and goes into what would then be known as Ultra Instinct Omen 3. In the anime, this episode is referred to as Ultra Instinct Mastered, which is why we call the white-haired form Mastered Ultra Instinct, and it's Goku's final mission to learn how to use Ultra Instinct impactfully or else it's game over. His last chance is here. After Vegeta tells Vermod about the Saiyan's constant evolution ability to destroy their limits throughout the tournament, and as we've proven in this video, Vermod pleads to Jiren to finish off Goku as quickly as possible, in which Jiren finally shows us his true power. Just his sheer power is able to crush and obliterate Vermod, Topo, Dispo, and the rest of Universe 11, but Vermod says that if Jiren doesn't win, it doesn't matter anyway. Goku then gets shoved to the bottom of the ring and eventually learns how to counter Jiren's power with his Omen as he builds up massive heat and fires that seemingly make a galaxy-shaped aura. Of course, this isn't an actual galaxy as it eclipses the bottom of the ring and clearly isn't actually that large, and it is literally described as Goku's raw heat by Jiren. The heat is obviously the power and how much instinct you are using. That's why Jiren in their first clash said that heat is your limit, because obviously the heat is the level of passion and power that he's utilizing at the moment. Absorbing this heat, Goku finally becomes Super Goku Prime 1 billion and casually blitzes and backflips over Jiren like some Janemba versus Gogeta battle, and Jiren is blown away without even realizing what's happening, even though he's at full power. Omen 3, before reaching its finale with mastery, has no concrete scaling tools like Omen 1 and 2, so I'm not going to say it has an exact numbered increase you could put on it, but if you want to say that it should consistently increase the strength like it did before and be way beyond Kaioken times 20 blue and so on, it'd make Goku overall about 2 through 20 times stronger than his current Kaioken times 20 blue, which as we established rivaled if not surpassed Omen 2 from earlier, bringing Goku to around 160 through 800 times stronger than blue at the start of the Tournament of Power. From here, the gods seem to imply that this is the final showdown between two of some of the most interesting people in all of the universes, a man that surpasses the gods versus the state that the gods cannot reach. Jiren in almost every conceivable piece of material for Dragon Ball is stated to surpass the power of a god of destruction or the gods of destruction, with Whis and all of the other gods seeming to confirm through their dialogue and so forth. This truly is a battle that goes above and beyond what anybody expected. Even though these gods can seemingly destroy entire macrocosms in their battle, they seem like nothing in comparison. Ultra Instinct and doo-doos and pee-pees all over this being that strikes on the gods of destruction, and Jiren starts to have PTSD of his past and his purpose. And this fit of delusion evolution, he starts to envision Goku as the man that caused all the pain and suffering in his past, and he was now the obstacle Jiren has been trying to surpass and prove he was better than since that day. So you could see why this would be quite the outburst of motivation and power from Jiren, where he is quote-unquote given a drastic power-up to compete with Ultra Instinct. In fact, you could say that this hidden power is very similar to Ultra Instinct. The red flames are very similar to the blue flames of this godly form, with the flames being described as what defines a godly ascension. Hesitation, panic, fear itself is turned to nothing in the flames, and all he can feel is himself, his opponents in the fight. In time, he becomes so hot and fast that even such perceptions grow dim and fades. As he dives into a state deeper than instinct, there he finds, as quoted by Whis. This is also backed up with how Jiren seemingly doesn't have to move or even flinch even if danger seemingly flies by him, which Goku notes at the start of the Tournament of Power. So this behemoth might actually have a lesser form of Ultra Instinct on top of this godly strength, or some kind of godly parallel to Ultra Instinct. Jiren at first overpowers Goku and even knocks him out cold for a moment, but Goku's instinct doesn't stop. It grows stronger and stronger as the battle goes on until he's finally able to bully and cream-fill Jiren at the end and look down on him in pity. The form wears off and seems to destroy his body, and you could argue Jiren technically won the scuffle due to such, but Beerus is convinced that Mastered Ultra Instinct was the superior in this confrontation and that Goku did win if he didn't give Jiren mercy. I suppose if we were to explicate an actual increase in power from Mastered Ultra Instinct, we can look at other materials. Otherwise, we just get a vaguely, well, he's stronger than Omen by a good bit, I guess. In the Broly movie, Goku states that Broly himself was more so a rival to Beerus, give or take. Now, whether or not Goku actually knows Beerus's full power here is irrelevant. For all Goku knows, Whis and every other god was telling him that Jiren surpassed all of the gods of destruction, Beerus being a god of destruction. So you could actually say that this is almost like Goku directly comparing Broly to Jiren. Some will try to bring up the promotional material for Broly in this case, but the promotional material contradicts itself numerous times and suggests that Broly being as strong as a god of destruction is questionable, with Goku himself not even being that level, whereas every other piece of lore for Jiren just directly says, and without a doubt, Jiren slaps gods. It also says that Broly will be truly terrifying and we won't be sure if Goku could even win, yet Goku almost gives up versus Broly when he's just a Super Saiyan god and doesn't even get pushed to break his limits. Neither him or Vegeta are actually forced to. They seemingly just fly out of there in a very out of character fashion and fuse into Gogeta. As well as the fact it tries to hype up Broly versus Goku as the mightiest versus the mightiest, yet they clearly get outclassed numerous times by numerous other people like Whis and so on. It seems to just be referring to Saiyans as the strongest fighting race in the universe and Broly is the strongest Saiyan. Gogeta in the Broly novelization is stated to show a hint of his true power versus Broly near the end of their battle as they shatter through dimensions and Gogeta actually attempts to kill Broly. Now, fusion itself has a contentious increase of power, but most people agree that it either falls under dozens of times more powerful or fighter times fighter as suggested in numerous guides. If this is true, Mastered Ultra Instinct even rivaling Gogeta would give it a massive multiplier on fusion level scale. Some will try to say that Gogeta and Broly destroyed a dimension in their fight, however this actually doesn't mean much of anything. Super Buu was able to rip apart and throw around dimensions as well, so there's no proof that Jiren versus Goku wouldn't have done that if they fought in the actual universe rather than the World of Void, which is disconnected from time and space. Now, Mastered Ultra Instinct being as strong as a fusion increase seems pretty crazy, right? I mean, it's only like a transformation for a singular character, so it being comparable to fusion is something a little bit new, but that actually might be even downplayed. Now, these sources are from other Dragon Ball timelines, but in Dragon Ball Heroes, we actually see Mastered Ultra Instinct directly compared to fusion. Cumber fights Xeno Goku and Vegeta in both the manga and anime, and Cumber destroys both Super Saiyan Blue Vegito Kaioken times 20 post Tournament of Power, and destroys a Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Vegito. Yet, MUI obliterates Cumber, even though it's the same Goku that was Vegito from before, with absolutely no problems. This further confirms that MUI may in fact be a fusion level amp onto Blue, if not far, far greater. And of course this makes sense. The flames of Ultra Instinct and Jiren are never really replicated, and their lore is something that the angels constantly jerk off to. It would make sense for it to be the strongest thing plot-wise at the moment for Goku, and for it to only appear rarely when like the stakes require it. When it's stated him and Vegeta are very impressive after fighting Broly in the manga, Goku responds by instantly deflecting this compliment and points to Jiren as being way more impressive than they are. As Jiren says in Fighter Z,
"All right! Come on! Make me get serious here!" Fusion? Nonsense.
And other than that, guys, thank you so much. This video has been a very long time coming. It's been over a year since that fight happened, but I just wanted to wait for more sources to come out and wait for me to be able to establish an argument. And I think saying Master Ultra Instinct is basically like a fusion level increase, give or take, is pretty much the meta right now, and I think that's the safest way to go. So other than that, guys, I hope you did enjoy, and see you on the next one.